This week, the story starts off sad because today we talk about things in the world that often people don't want to talk about. And so this is where we're talking about being sick or dead. Those are not comfortable discussions. And it's sad to say that often, parents and families, when they have deaf children, they don't want to include the deaf children because it's uncomfortable. But you and I, we have to explain and to the children and be open to talk about this, because if we don't, they'd have no relationship and why it's so important. So when you talk about meeting people that are sick, or when you go to a funeral and people that have died or they are dying, okay, that's how you show it. So their dad is already, or my mother is dying, and you can show how close it's getting by where you put it. So my mother is dying, so you show it's going to be really soon. So you can show that in your signs and the degree where you sign it. So just be aware of that as you communicate and sign. This week also you can practice your finger spelling, because if you talk about people and families, like in our prayers at church, you finger spell people's names. And that's one of the few times we finger spell people's names. After that, you give them a name sign. But often in our prayers, we do Peter, James, John. But if you know the people, you can sign Peter or Pastor Reinke, and you convey that with the name signs. So, but you practice your finger spelling. Then again, for the crying, you can add the emphasis. So they were loud crying. But it wouldn't only be crying, it would be this. Crying as in weeping. So I'm crying a little, or I'm crying, or I'm crying, or I'm crying. So you see just how you change that motion with your finger. You're showing how often the crying is or is happening. And so that's one way to change your signs, just to show it. Same way with laugh. The people, they laughed. You could say they laughed. Often laughter is a good thing. Laughter is, laughing. But there you could say they laughed against Jesus, and you show it with your expression. Or laugh. This is more where your belly, you're laughing. and you say, oh, and so you can show that. So laughter is just a little bit, but if it's laughter, and it can be positive or negative, but that depends upon your context. This is a good time also to practice your family signs. We did these before, where you have father and mother and brother, sister, son, daughter, uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, cousins, boy, girl, cousins. So remember that differentiating. Males for us is up here because of boy, and girl. So you have the females is down here. So practice all. And then grandma and grandpa. Those are important signs too. So practice your family signs. Then the last, this is also again positive, negative, depends. So amazed. Oh, they were amazed, but they were also could be, they were shocked. They were amazed. So it could be like, oh, or it was like, that was amazing. Oh, that was shocking. So you have to see how you would put those signs together and what's the best way to convey that concept. Wow, is it more positive? That was amazing. Was it more like, oh, I never expected that, I'm shocked. And so see how you would put those together. So again, just have fun, enjoy putting together those concepts and just conveying His Word.